So now they are talking about JF-17 Thunder. And this aircraft earned a huge reputation in the recent conflict between Pakistan and India. India switched to temporary pause, kind of humiliation for them. India's primary interest helping us in getting separated from West Pakistan. Their incentive was they will remain relaxed about this sector. The most important aspect during the operation Sindoor, not only the Air Force personnel, but you had around 6,000 non-military personnel with technical skill to be inducted in operations like these.
Assalamu alaikum, Pak Bangla Connect. This is Sadia Sattar, and I'm happy to be here once again with our very venerable guest, and that is Major Zaman. And he's a veteran from Bangladesh's army, and I'm very glad that he accepted our invitation to be a part of our, communication, our conversation today regarding the recent developments, upcoming elections, and the geopolitics of this region. So to tell you briefly about Major Zaman, he's been serving with multiple international organizations, taking part in multiple conversations, debates on television channels, and of course, social media as well. So we'll get to know more about him today. But to start off with, Assalamu alaikum, Major Zaman, and thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum to your audience. It's great to be connected to people like you, and in the process, I get introduced to your audience. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And I just thought that we can discuss about Bangladesh and Pakistan because it had been a bumpy road. And now we are in a very different phase. To start off with, how do you see this change, sir?
Thank you very much. I appreciate the current developments because the focus is now on the deriving benefit from each other, Bangladesh and Pakistan. In fact, in terms of the economic situation or the economic benefits you want to derive, we need to put into perspective two countries. One is Japan and the other is Vietnam. And you see, Vietnam, the US left Vietnam in November 1975.
Right.
Right. So in terms of the international relation, there is no permanent friend and permanent foe as well. The interest of the country at a given time that suits both the entities, that is being followed up. But unfortunately, that does not happen often. If I take you back to come back to your country's issue, like you see, the relationship with USA right from the early 50s through CO2 agreement, and from then onwards, as of 2025-26, things have evolved with bumpy experience. So that's the I would say an example how the interstate relationship evolves around the time, and leadership as well. Thank you.
Right. So what I analyze from your answer is that whatever the situation was, it's good that the situation is changing, and we have seen examples globally where roads are bumpy, but then of course we prefer the interest of our own respective countries. So now talking about this change that is happening, we have heard, since you are a military veteran, I would request you to tell us about the military interoperability that is to be done between Pakistan and Bangladesh, because we see that Bangladesh Air Chief visited Pakistan and met the High Command here, and then similarly, Pakistan's High Command visited Bangladesh in just recent past, and we've been hearing about the deals of the fighter aircrafts and all. So, what is your comment on that?
I would say it's a good approach in the sense because once you get any hardware, you need to think about the maintenance part of it, and
Mm-hmm.
while interoperability is an very important factor, uh, and Bangladesh military has is used to Chinese hardware in Air Force, Navy, as well as in the Army. So,
Mm-hmm.
so now they are talking about JF-17 Thunder, and this aircraft with the third, with Block 3, it has earned a huge reputation in the recent conflict between Pakistan and India. So it has proved its worth in the battle field. So if Bangladesh prefers to have those aircrafts, it will be good. And in terms of the aircrafts, the most important aspect is the avionics. You remember
Mm-hmm.
that the PL-15 that was used to shot down Rafale jets with standoff distance. Uh, that was primarily possible because the export version of PL-15 was not used. Rather, the Chinese provided the PL-15 that they use for their operations. So, like the Pakistan and China, they have developed a relationship, ironclad relationship, and all-weather friend. But that does not start in a day. It started long back,
Mm-hmm.
and it went through testing time. So
Right.
whenever we have any agreement to have such things, there needs to be uh, focused on the national interest from both sides. At the same
Mm-hmm.
time, uh, the helping the recipient country with operational excellence, so that
Right.
so that they can use at the time. And now
Mm-hmm.
JF-17, the Burmese Air Force, they have also JF-17. And with Block 3 and recent your export inventory for JF-17 is praiseworthy. Yes, yeah, Nigeria, then Libya, military personnel, they came, unfortunately, they uh, uh, you are exporting to Libya, then with Saudi Arabia. So your hardware is
Mm-hmm.
being appreciated by different countries. And with this export excellence and and the reputation it has earned in the battlefield, I think Bangladesh has made a right move. Earlier, we used to have JF-7, F-7 Chinese aircrafts.
Right.
And before that, we had F-6 fighter aircrafts.
Mm-hmm.
Now that, aircrafts, they have their lifetime. And once you cross that time, you need to have new aircrafts. And more so,
Right.
the most important aspect during the operation of Sindur vis-a-vis your one, that was
Mm-hmm.
the
Banyan versus. Yeah.
right. So
Mm-hmm.
the total battlefield visibility that is being provided, you achieved through Chinese support. And
Mm-hmm.
again, Pakistan has mastered these aspects very well. I found an article, not only the Air Force personnel, but you had around 6,000 non-military personnel with uh, technical skill to be inducted
Mm-hmm.
in uh, operations like this and onward. So
Mm-hmm.
that means you are uh, getting skilled manpower to operate uh, and keep sustaining the operational capacity.
Right. So basically, Pakistan, yes, it gave a surprise to India in the recent Pakistan-India war that happened in 2025, Bunyanul Marsus, and they call their Operation Sindoor. So thank you so much, Major Zaman, for elaborating it so well. And definitely, we get the point that Bangladesh Air Force and the world over. There is this trust and credibility that is built up because of the China Pakistan cooperation and then the exhibition of that cooperation in the recent conflict between India and Pakistan. So, when we talk about Bangladesh and Pakistan's military interoperability, and we have seen that the flights are also resumed. In fact, from 29th of January this year, there is going to be a flight between Dhaka and Karachi. And then, of course, there are other venues which are being discussed about economy and, education, people to people contact, soft power, that is drama, music, etc. How do you see, sir? Because again, we'd say that this is after a very long time. So, how do you see things are panning out, especially when we know that the Bangladeshi people have been, many of them, the critiques have been blaming India for Hasina's government previously, and now Hasina taking a refuge there, and India is having some reaction over it. So, how do you see these three countries of the region and this situation building up?
Thank you. The You see, this is an issue between two countries, and
Mhm.
India has become recently very concerned about JF-17 if we acquire at all.
Right.
I would say it is a kind of interference to our internal issues, because what hardware we acquire for our self-defense, we feel that what is best suited for us, we would pursue that one.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we had a time when many things used to be suggested, decided by the people, by the concerned people in India. So that phase we have
Mhm.
left behind. I cannot assure
Right.
you that we may not go back to that phase, because for us we have many challenges in asserting
Mhm.
or uh, making our mark as a nation or nation state.
Right.
And I'm very happy to let you know that the young generation, Gen Z, they have uh, realized the reality of interstate relationship and the
Right.
interstate cooperation. And now that they
Right.
are focusing, trying to see things from reality perspective, the lens
Mhm.
is very clear now.
Right.
So that's
So, yes.
yes, please, please.
Right. So, so you say that Gen Z is not willing to accept the coercion of their freedom of speech and of their freedom or liberty to have good relations with all the neighbors, and they don't want to be just one country centric. So, which is a very good thing, like you said, the nation states have the right to decide for themselves and to play their cards rightly to achieve what they want to achieve. And of course, they want to achieve, prosperity. They want to be developed. They want to have a very strong defense and all. So one more thing. So we have seen in recent past, like many veterans we saw from India after Usman Hadi's assassination, they were literally threatening the youth of Bangladesh. And we are not talking about anonymous young trolls. We are talking about learned people, maybe in their late 50s or 60s, who use this language. So, how do you see these threats and this animosity and hatred being spread? And how do you see the reaction of Bangladeshi youth to all those threats being done openly? And my main question with this is that is do you think it is because that the Gen Z chose to oust the government that was pro-India?
Yes, yes, because in the interstate relationship, you you need to focus on developing relation between people to people, and that is consolidated through people to people contact, interaction, and exchange of views. Unfortunately, India chose to put all the eggs in one basket,
Right,
and they went, they became rug elements, and they are now sheltered in India. So these are the aspects which has not gone down well among the most of the people of the country. And young
mhm.
generations, they are leading in this case. So,
So do
uh,
you,
please.
yeah, please go ahead. No, no, please go ahead.
All right. So, young generation and our uh, people who are not, I would say, blindfolded by Awami version of the historical events, uh, they have the one thing, they want country's interest first, not the party's interest or the self-interest. And as of now, today, the sentiment is overwhelmingly disfavoring heredity uh, uh, figures who represent their families. So,
Right.
no, right. So, uh, I would say this is a good sign, and any government coming next, they will have to take all these things into consideration. So I think we are on the beginning is right. Rather,
Mhm.
reorientation is okay, and no doubt that given the relationship between China and Pakistan and USA with Pakistan and Russia with Pakistan, Pakistan is probably the unique nation at this point of time who have a good relation with all the belligerent forces, USA,
Right,
Russia, and China. So that's
right.
a good thing. And international relation, you never know what you are today, what will happen tomorrow. Because with the things which are changing constantly around, like you have border with Iran, but
Mhm.
the USA just avoided a direct confrontation by a few hours.
Mhm.
And primarily, it happened with the Iranian arsenal, rich missile arsenal, radar issues, and the determination of the Iranian people. And you have border with Iran, so that also
Mhm.
concerns you because anything happens that concerns you. So likewise, when uh, but the state has to navigate through these challenges that is ever changing, like the issue of Venezuela about a few days back. Even
Mhm.
before it happened, there were symptoms of that something could happen, but nobody could imagine that could happen because that violates all the international rules. So at this point of time, the rules based approach is being violated and
Mhm.
being challenged as well, being challenged as well. So given all these variables that a country or a nation confronts, have to take into account and have to navigate through the odds and adopt the best possible option available at a given time. So Bangladesh would benefit uh, from this scenario as well.
Definitely. And I think this is, as you've said, so, is primarily important that we need to do the navigation, which you've rightly mentioned, and about Pakistan, of course, having good relations with all the powers at the moment and navigating. So this is exactly what we see, and we are hoping the best for Bangladesh also in this regard, because being a country with so many transitional phases from 1971 till date, I think there is a lot that Bangladeshi nation has been through, and of course shown a lot of resilience. And to give a credit to the Gen Z and even veterans like you, that you all gathered together to say that we do not want any external factors to come and instrumentalize us, is something really commendable, truly a remarkable change in Bangladesh that we see. And obviously, the connectivity between the regional countries is primarily important. And if I'm not wrong, I've just recently seen a statement from the interim leadership of Bangladesh where they say that SAARC needs to be revived. What's your comment on that, sir? Because we saw that whenever there was some happening going on in SAARC, many a times we saw that the big countries, and you all know what I'm talking about, usually, just did not let it happen that way. So what is your comment on that? Do we need SAARC?
Actually, it was a good approach initiated by envisioned by late President Zia Rahman, and it was uh, made functional by late President Hassan Mohammad Shah. But because of the uh, relationship between Pakistan and India, uh, all others could not come on board to uh, get things moving. And with India and Pakistan at odds, especially with BJP government in India,
Right.
I don't think that it is going to be revitalized anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the war situation under which India uh, 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 went switched to temporary pause.
Yeah.
It is a kind of humiliation for them, and they are not ready for to receive such type of treatment from the Pakistan military. They realized quite it late
Mm-hmm.
that they fought one plus front, that is Pakistan, plus active support from China with all form of equipment and other support.
Right. So, do you think, sir, it was as a military veteran? My final question would be regarding that. Do you think, as you've mentioned it briefly earlier, do you think it was a great surprise for India to see that kind of response? Do you think they could not evaluate well Pakistan, how it's going to respond? Is that what you think, or anything else you want to talk about the Pakistan-India war?
Right. I have tried to know why India did fail that way. Primarily, India has insurgency issues and huge insurgency issues, right from Pakistan border to the northeast. and India has
Right.
to deal with this constantly. So Indian military mainly was in counter-insurgency format, that this sort of
Okay. Okay.
mindset. I've heard from one
Okay.
Indian commentator who seems to be quite
Right.
rational, not hawkish
Right.
people like many, as we see on the TV screen or the online platforms. So he said
Right.
that when you fight a conventional war, you need to have adequate preparation. And they said, the gentleman pointed out that at times one air chief, he wanted to be part of this counterinsurgency operation in uh, in Kashmir and surrounding. So you see, so the when the mindset
Right.
insurgency focused, then you cannot fight a conventional war. And now that you
Right.
have, they have, you see, their primarily focus was your western sector and northern sector, and now western sector
Right.
primarily along Pakistan border. Now with the Chinese threat in 2020, where about 20 Indian soldiers were killed, not by bullet, but through claps. So, and
Right.
there to maintain a sizable force over the mountains uh, in the high Himalayas is very challenging, daunting in terms of the economy and other issues. So you see, India has to now cater for two fronts. The Pakistan front, they cannot relax, and in the Chinese front, again, they cannot relax. And I would like to mention here the Chinese and Indian border is around 3,430 kilometers or so. So they have
Right.
three sectors: Western sector, Central sector, and the Eastern sector. And the Chinese very prudently have created uneasy situation right from the western sector to the eastern sector. So India
Right.
has to cope with these challenges, and that makes them a sort of off guard in the western sector because they cannot
Right.
focus that way. And again, to maintain a military in such terrain in the high Himalayas, the defense budget has to be inflated. So they are finding it challenging. And now one thing more I would like to add here. Now that they have two fronts already active, and
Mm-hmm.
if they sense and they are sensing that Bangladesh could be another front where they have to focus, and India's primary interest in helping uh, us in getting um, separated from West Pakistan, that was their incentive was they will remain relaxed about this sector. Imagine a sector,
Right.
a scenario where had it been to United Pakistan, then you have atomic arsenal in the west, China in the north, and in the east, Bangladesh. So what would have been a challenge? It's uh, a huge challenge, and any defender or any country would like to forget such scenario.
Right. Thank you so much, Major Zaman. It's been a pleasure. And before leaving, something extraordinarily, straightforwardly, without mincing words, Major Zaman said, and that is that the main intent of India to break this country in 1971 was to avoid this huge power they could have been interacting with or they could have had faced. At the moment, we see things have changed. We have seen Bangladeshis chose for themselves, and we wish them all the best for what they have chosen. Pakistan, of course, and China, and as Major Zaman mentioned very accurately, with all the statistics and figures which anybody can go and check and verify, that after the humiliating defeat and after realizing that this alliance of China, Bangladesh, and Pakistan is going to be a real knuckle sandwich, I think it's a question mark for the geopolitical experts and the opinion makers and the decision makers in India that this region needs peace and breathing. So there is only one way forward, and that way is that we stop bullying the neighbors and we start cooperating with them. Thank you so much, Major Zaman. It was a pleasure having you.
May I have a last point, please?
Yes, please,
All right.
go ahead.
I would like to echo Mr. Victor Gao. He said that India did not win. When he said to the Indians, he said India did not win and Pakistan and did not lose. But when he went to Pakistan, he said Pakistan won and India lose. So that is the situation. I appreciate your effort to interact with people like us to get the view from this point and getting us on board, getting me on board. Thank you.
It's a pleasure, Major Zaman. I think, like you have said, without mincing your words, I would say without mincing my words, it's a tiny effort from an ordinary Pakistani to connect those hearts and the bond and the people-to-people contact in whatever capacity possible. And I think it is primarily important to get to have the perspective from our Bangladeshi, people and to get to know what they think about this change, to tell the world in English as well, because most of the programs are in Bengali. So we'd love to tell the world that how Bangladeshi veterans think, how Bangladeshi youth thinks, and how the situation is changing in this part of the world. So thank you so much once again. I'd appreciate if you can join us again with a panel of experts. I hope we'll be calling soon, and we can discuss further the opportunities, the ways we can move forward. Like you've given brilliant examples in the beginning that there are nations, they have ups and downs, they have bumpy roads, but eventually we always see what serves us the best. So hoping for a very good connectivity throughout from here onwards. Thank you so much, Major Zaman. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you, Pak Bangla Connect, and thank you, sir. So I love this. I feel the vibe of my own army. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So it's, and then Pak Bangla Connect, Hamare Bangladeshi Bhaiyo Bonera. Next time I'm going to try to learn another Bengali sentence. Thank you very much. Have a great night ahead. Take care and Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.